How's everyone doing today?
Good.
The last time I did this, I got a noise complaint. How's everyone doing? Oh, hold up. All right. How's everyone doing today? Woo! Okay, so we're here at After Dark. We got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time. I was told I have 5 minutes, so I'm going to set my own timer. But also, I think it's really important that we get to know each other a little bit. So raise your hand if you're a founder in the room. Nice, awesome. It's like most of you. Raise your hand if you're a software engineer. Amazing. It's good to see y'all. How about a designer? Nice. Any PMs? Nice. Okay. So this demo should appeal to all of you. So about me, I'm a big-time builder and tinkerer. I really like to build stuff. In fact, I don't think there's any bad time to build something. So why don't we get that done first? I found this logo on GitHub, on Thingiverse, which is like an open source CAD tool, open source CAD repo where you can post up your CAD models. And I downloaded this and threw it onto my slicer. There it is. It's somewhere back there. Okay. So I downloaded this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it. It takes 3 minutes to print, so by the end of this talk, we should be able to come back to my printer and see this thing. Let's overwrite it, open the folder, and then dump this into the browser. Okay, we're going to click print. And if everything works, this should start up and hit 200 degrees Celsius, and then the bed should be 50. And we should have something that we can check out in a bit. So I have two views, and at the end of my talk, we'll either see if we have a house fire or if we have the GitHub logo. Okay. So I'm Adam, and I work at a company called Weaviate, and we build a vector database. I've got my socials here if you want to follow me. I like to run these hack nights at GitHub, which I'll talk about in a second. But in this talk, what I'm going to do is show you three things. I'm going to show you my browser, which is proof that I don't have anything running in it. Okay, so this is port 8080. And we should be running Weaviate in here, but there's nothing. And then in port 8000, we don't have anything running here either. And then also in port 11434, which is where Ollama would run, there's nothing here either. Now, Verba is this open source tool that we've been building that showcases how we can build really high quality, best practices RAG pipelines. And it looks like this. And we have it running in the cloud. And you can ask it questions. This whole thing is ingested our docs, our video transcripts, our blog posts, and everything. So you can be like, what is a vector database? Raise your hand if you know what a vector database is. Raise your hand if you have not heard of Weaviate before. Okay, it's always less people in the room. So on the right-hand side, you'll see the context that was retrieved. And on the left-hand side, you see, what you basically see is a generated output for this specific question. You can ask very targeted questions like, how do I use Weaviate embedded in TypeScript? And it sends a query. We generate a vector embedding for the query. We find all the blocks of chunks that are relevant to this, and then we generate the response on the left. All this stuff is happening in real time. As long as your customized data is in here, you can do interesting RAG lookups to pull up, to apply ML and AI over your data and context. Okay, so this is Verba. The one problem with Verba, okay, no problem. It's open source, which is dope. We have a good community of people that contribute to it. What's challenging about this is that it's hard to deploy and hard to run locally on your machine. So in comes Flux. With Flux, you can actually get Verba running on your machine in 2 lines of code. The first, yeah, for real. Give it up for Flux. Woo! Literally, to run Verba, we can just run this one command, flux pull -- copy flux verba. We already have this environment on my machine, and I don't want to do this flat out with nothing here, because what this next command is going to do, it would pull the model, it'll pull Ollama, and I'll prove it to you. So if I say flux edit, you'll see this configuration of the Flux environment and the services that run on it. So we have a Weaviate service, we have an Ollama service, and we have a Verba service. Weaviate is the vector store that sits behind Verba. Ollama is the inference layer, and theoretically, we should be able to get inference and RAG all done locally on this machine. So let's. Does anyone know how to get out of this thing? I'm kidding. Okay, so let's activate this environment. -S is what we do to get start services. And this should trigger the activation of those 3 services right within the terminal. And it was literally just one command. So now if I go here to localhost 8080, you'll see that Weaviate is running. Now, there's one problem with this. This is a super non-informative page about how to use this. So I'm just going to capture a bug real quick. And I'll share this with my team. This sucks. Yeah, give it up for Jam. Woo! Okay, I'll send that to my engineering team in a bit. But yeah, so Weaviate is running in this. Weaviate's running on port 8080. If I refresh, we'll get it. Now if we go to port 8000, we'll get Verba. And we have Verba running. We have Verba and Weaviate running in the background along with Olama. But I want to show you something different. I want to connect to Weaviate Cloud. And to do that, what I'm going to do is go over to Weaviate Cloud Console. And we're going to go create a new cluster real quick. So it's console.weaviate.cloud brings you into this view. And if you go in and click on this page right here, we can say create a new cluster. Oh, wow. Okay, we've already created the max number of clusters. Can we delete this fast? Is it easy? Test cluster. Delete. Okay, and let's go create a new one. We'll call this GitHub Microsoft for startups. We'll set this up in US West, and we'll get clear 8. Now, this is going to take a minute, and I still have some time left on the timer. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I do with GitHub. We've been running these like hack nights at GitHub once a month, and they've become this like really exciting place where devs come. We bring together a bunch of different companies, and it's just an awesome time. While this thing is rolling, while this thing is like creating the cluster, I'm going to go and play a video real fast. This was Hack Night at GitHub.
How's everyone doing today?
What else? Okay. So we have these like different talks. We have like exciting speakers come up, and it's always a really good time. Developers are coming in. There's like pizza on the back, and there's just a bunch of people having like a wicked good time. 2 hours to demo something or learn something new, and just show off what you built. It doesn't need to be flashy. If anyone knows Sam from Writer, he's awesome. But yeah, that's kind of the vibe, and I'll go back to this. Okay, so this cluster should be done in just a second. If you're curious about other events that we do, we're doing this one on November 6th. It's 4 to 9. And then on November 7th, we're doing this type safety pub quiz that has nothing to do with GitHub, I'm sorry. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be about type safety. We're doing this with Nele from Fiberplane. She's the primary host, and I'm just kind of tagging along for the ride. Okay. Let's close up this demo now. Ready? So what I'm going to do real quick is go back to Weaviate, grab the Weaviate key. Okay, looks like we're done. We're going to grab the cluster name. We're going to dump this over here. We're going to go over to the API key and grab the API key. And done. So Weaviate Verba will actually do all the chunking for you so that you don't have to do anything about it. What we do need to do is configure that our embedding model is set up correctly. So we're using mixed bread. And for the generator module, what we're going to do is we're going to use Llama 3.2. Let's do that. Let's save this, save, and save. And then what we need to do next is import some documents. To import these documents, what I want to do is import a blog post. So I've got this blog post set up, flocksverba.txt. And this thing is actually, let's click import first. And this thing actually comes from this blog post written by Steve from Flocks. It's about how to create a turnkey RAG solution with Verba using Flocks. And it's literally just the things that I showed you today. And what happened just now behind the scenes is we took this entire text file, chunked it up, created the vector embeddings for you, and all of it is just done. That's literally it. So now, when you click on chat, you can be like, how does Flocks work with Verba? And that's it. We're going to get chunks on the right, and then we're going to get a generation on the left. Thank you so much, everyone. Peace.